Dragon Ball's back, baby. Yes, I know it's been back for a little while, but yeah, I've been busy. Obviously, this is episode 1 and 2 review. The episodes have been out for, what, like a week and a half now? Like, basically, in the span of 2 weeks, there's been 2 episodes that have come out. And yeah, so obviously, Daima's out. Obviously, the anime returning is such a big deal, and I feel like I had to talk about it. Of course, this is like a mainly Dragon Ball channel, so I feel like I had to at one point just kind of express my feelings. It's not going to be that too deep of a dive of an episode. It's going to be my overall feelings on the show and how I think it's like, how much I like it and stuff like that. It's just basically going to be like an overall statement. I'll probably have like a more in-depth for like episodes 3 and 4 and stuff like that. But for now, I feel like I just got to quickly go over my thoughts for episodes 1 and 2. So with that out of the way, I think with too much, that's a bit explaining. So let's just hop into some Daima notes that I wrote down, and we'll talk about stuff like that. You guys let me know what you guys think down below of Daima, and where you think the show's going. I won't be making any predictions. I feel like it's a bit early, but I know some people like have theories of so many characters and so many like plot lines to go and whatnot. Also, I don't even know what I'm gonna do for footage in the background. I feel like I'm just gonna put Sparking Zero Daima Goku. Sure, I think that's what's just gonna be playing in the background. But with that out of the way, let's get into some of the actual Daima content itself. So Daima, yeah, obviously the show looks incredible. It actually, like, I have to say, after 2 weeks of just 2 episodes, I'm more surprised than I thought I was gonna be. Like, obviously I have faith in Toriyama's creations, I have faith in Toei's creations to put out something, but I didn't think I would like it this much, so far anyway. It feels really good to enjoy animation of a show too. Like, when you look at this compared to Super just looks like a sack of shit. Like, without being too harsh on it, obviously, like, there's time constraints and everything that Super has. Super was like, what? I don't know what the production schedule for Super was like, but it does not look this good. This show actually looks so good. They opening with them opening with like the, what do you call it? Like, what am I calling it? Like the flashbacks with the Buu Saga and whatnot. It's so reminiscent of the superhero opening, and I love the superhero opening. I think that's probably the best looking part of the entire movie. And so for them to do it again, but with Daima and with the Buu Saga, just simply looks incredible. So yeah, animation's out the way. Obviously, you guys don't need me to tell that it looks good. Let's get that out of the way. The plot. Okay, I think here I have written down my notes. I have complaints first, so I think I'll just get like my gripes out the way since it's not a long list. I feel like, what do you call it? Wait, he's at age 15. No, too much explaining. Okay, I put too much explaining down because I feel like sometimes they just do a bit of over explaining, especially them going back and like rewriting over things that are already kind of explained. The biggest one for me is the Patara. It just kind of like irked me the wrong way that they were like, oh yeah, we just went in Buu again since he specifically is this good at separating fusions. I'm like, his gas or something, they explained it in like a really weird way, and I was like, that just seems a bit like unnecessary. But I know that's what like Toriyama does stuff. He always goes back and like explains it. But the Patara getting re-explained like 3 times is crazy. Like, it starts to get to a point, if you know what I mean. Also, them kind of explaining the Shenron wish too is like another one of those backtracking things that I feel like they kind of had, where it really didn't need explanation, but it was kind of cool that they explained it because it gives a reason for, what do you call it, why they only get 1 wish in the Broly movie. I didn't even realize that until they said it. I was like, oh yeah, Shenron did just kind of disappear after 1 wish. And I like stuff like that. Like, that to me is better than like the Patara one, because that doesn't like directly conflict with anything they've said before. Because like, yeah, it's just an added rule. Like, you're okay with that. I guess the Resurrection F Saga, you got more than 1 wish, right? No, Pilaf technically takes 1 of the wishes. And that's not Pilaf's first time wishing either. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's my only gripes. Oh, one of my gripes is Dende was a kid in the first episode. I just pointed that out. I was like, why is he a kid here? I swear in the Buu Saga, he's like way older, no? If he's older in the Buu Saga and he's not, I feel like I should double check this, but my memory, I feel like is correct there. I remember him being taller and interacting with like the people on the lookout and whatnot. But I feel like Dende was older. For some reason, he's just a kid in the beginning. It doesn't really matter since everyone gets turned into a kid, but it's a bit weird. That was just the one thing. That's really it for complaints that I have. I just want to get back to gushing about the show. So, obviously we talked about the animation, the intro. I waited till episode 2 because I really wanted to watch the intro especially. The intro was like, it's one hell of an earworm. Like, it's stuck in my head now at this point. I said before, I was like, no matter what the intro is, it's all you're going to be hearing for like the next 2 years. They're going to put it in games. They're going to put it in like promotions. They're going to put it everywhere. Speaking of games, Daima's everywhere now. Sparking Zero is literally in Sparking Zero like day 0 before the game release, before the anime even came out in there. It was in Kakarot, and now it's in Xenoverse. Like, where was this kind of love when Beast Gohan was coming out, when people really wanted to play him? obviously it's a good thing to do this. Like, I'm not gonna complain. But the fact that they went from like Beast Gohan, who like took a year and a half to get into anything, to Daima Goku's in the game day 0. Like, that's honestly, that's an improvement. I'm not gonna complain about that. I think what else I'll talk about is, yeah, the kid stuff. I enjoy it way more than I thought I would. I have to say, like Kid Goku, we've all seen it in GT, we've all seen him in Dragon Ball, stuff like that. So the character I'm most excited to see for is like Vegeta and whatnot. They kind of did write him out the story like almost right away to say like, oh yeah, he's coming later anyway though. So at least he's coming later. Unlike one other character, Gohan, who they completely wrote out. I don't know why they would not include Gohan. To me, it just doesn't make sense not to. He's obviously like, what, like a fan favorite? Top 3, top 5 at least, no? But I feel like maybe they're saving him for like a big ass reveal at the end where he's like, oh yeah, Gohan's here, and then he's like Nama Gohan or Saiyan Saga Gohan. One of the two would have just been really cool to see. He could just be like a shrunk Ultimate Gohan, which is probably what they're gonna go with. But if he's in the show, just put him in the show. Like, they could have wrote him out with that one line. I'm not gonna lie. They do say like, oh yeah, Gohan's out studying and whatnot. They could have wrote him out, or they could have been like setting him up for a really cool entrance scene later. I don't know how cool he's gonna be if he's tiny as hell though. Yeah, it makes sense. The villains are cool. They're like, they haven't really done anything with them yet, so I don't want to go too far in saying it, but I do enjoy it. Like, the first episode was basically setting them all up. I think it's Goma, Arinsu, and then I forget, Degesu I think is the brother's name, Supreme Kai's brother. But yeah, they do a really good job of setting them up in the Demon World and stuff like that. I do have to say though, I don't like that all of these characters are post Blue Saga. Obviously, everyone would have preferred if, like, what do you call it, they're after Super and whatnot. Obviously, everybody would prefer the Granola arc and stuff like that, but I don't mind this. I don't mind it. I just hope that at the end of this, they're like, oh, all our memories were wiped, or something like that. Something that just explains why they didn't bring it up in Super. They could just say, like, well, in theory, everyone just dies, but like, that's no fun. They could just say like, oh, we've wiped your memories, or you can only access like certain parts of, like, if Goku like gets a new form in here in this show, which he probably will. That's just how Dragon Ball works. They gotta sell something, you know. So he probably gotta get a new form. They're probably gonna say like, oh, you can only access the form in like the Demon World or something like that. So they just kind of cover it up. But yeah, I have high hopes for this show. I think they'll put in something in there. They did mention Universe 7, which is a Dragon Ball Super plot point, so I do think it has some continuity with Super anyway. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I really enjoy this show. I can't wait to see where it goes. I don't want to make any like plot predictions and stuff like that. Oh, I guess I didn't talk about like Glorio, but he literally just got introduced at the last episode. Like the last 5 minutes of the last episode. So I think we'll save my thoughts about him for when he actually does something. So if you guys enjoy it, like, comment, subscribe, that good stuff. And with that out of the way, peace.